Hey there everyone, it's Sarah here from Never Out of Books. Welcome back to my channel because I am never out of books, like ever. I'm going to do a book haul for you guys. I didn't go too crazy, but I got some book boxes and I finished up some series and I got free reign to just grab books. So I've got a few things here to show you. The first thing to show you is War Storm by Victoria Aveyard. This is the final book, finally, in this series, and it is huge. I have only read the first book, Red Queen, but I wanted to, one, have these on my shelf because I think they're pretty, and two, I wanted the whole series before so I could just binge it. So now I have the whole series and can binge it sometime. I'm kind of booked up, pun intended there, for a little bit, but can't wait to get to this. And I'm sure everyone knows what it's about. An adult fantasy, kind of dystopian, where a girl has powers and people have powers and stuff. So that sort of thing. From Owl Crates, I got Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. They're sending out covers that are a little different than the normal covers. I think this is silver instead of gold. I can't remember now. It's like about a Viking girl warrior, possibly with fantasy in it as well, as most young adult books do tend to be. So interested in this. From LitJoy Crate, I want to say in May, maybe in June, I can't remember, I got Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett. Another young adult fantasy. This is actually pretty chunky. The cover is gorgeous. It's another girl power book. And she has the ability to communicate with animals, which sounds good to me. And it is with extreme sadness that I announced that LitCube has stopped their book box service. I've noticed the quality and things have been going a little bit more downhill lately, but they've always sent out very good books, so I'm sad to see them go. But here are the last two books in their final two boxes. The first one is 7 Days in May by Kim Izzo. This is a historical fiction about the Lusitania, the boat, and it is inspired from real life events. So this will probably be a bit heartbreaking, I would assume. And then their final book was Becoming Bonnie by Jenny L. Walsh, and this is how Clyde turned Bonnie bad, I guess. So historical fiction and very interesting, and it's like really shiny, holy. And so I think it's not about Bonnie and Clyde together, it's more about just Bonnie, which is an interesting take on it. And from Book of the Month, I grabbed The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hong. This is being talked about a lot on BookTube. I kind of hope to get to it. I feel like now I should put it on my summer TBR because it is a romance. Maybe I'll put it up there and see what happens. And I think the main character, the woman, has Asperger's, which kind of reminds me a bit of The Rosie Project, only he had Asperger's in that book, and it was written from his perspective, and it was like just such an interesting take on the romance when you add that to romance, and so I'm actually very interested to read this, so maybe I will put it back there, and maybe I'll pick it up this summer. When I went to my friend's barbecue that she had last month, she lives in like a community, like a gated community, and they have a library where people put books that they don't want anymore, and so she was like, take books, Sarah, look at all the books, just take books. So I took books. So I grabbed Heartbreaker by Julie Garwood. This is, I think I've read some of the later books in this series, but I think this might actually be one of the earlier books in one of her FBI series. And I also grabbed this one, Killjoy by Julie Garwood. These are both in the same series. I don't know if you have to read them in order, obviously not because I read some of the later books, but I do enjoy her writing, and these are romantic suspense. I also grabbed The Valley of Amazement by Amy Tan, only because it was by Amy Tan, not that I've read anything by her before. But I know she wrote the Joy Luck Club, and so I figured maybe I would want to read this someday. And I grabbed Ernest Hemingway, To Have and to Have Not, because it's Ernest Hemingway and I might want to read this at some point. And I grabbed The Princess Bride by William Goldman because I've seen the movie like a bazillion times, but I've never read the book, even though I hear the book is like almost word for word the movie. But I'm like, I feel like I should read the book. And maybe my daughter should read the book as well. Maybe. We'll see. And there are a couple books that I grabbed that I do not have down here because my family has taken them. One of them is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I grabbed that in mass market paperback. And I also grabbed The Pillars of the Earth and the second one, The World Without End. I've read The Pillars of the Earth before and really loved it a long time ago, and I really do want to read The World Without End at some point, but probably not this year. But it was free on the shelf and no one was reading it, and they were like dusty, so I grabbed it. And last but not least, I grabbed The Fiery Cross by Diana Gabaldon. This is one of the Outlander books. I'm only on book 3. I have no idea what book this one is, to be perfectly honest. But, all right, I looked in the front. I think this is book 5. But I'll have it if I ever get to it. I mean, it's not high priority again, but I think that's it. I think. Although, who knows, you might see another book haul at some point. But I think that is it, and that is enough because, again, my shelves are kind of exploding. So I need to, like, read and donate a lot. So my book choices will be on the read and donate side this summer, which I guess sounds strange because I'm picking books that I don't think I'm going to love just so that I can get rid of them and get them read, which is kind of sad. But you know what? Brain candy's brain candy. It is what it is. Maybe someone else will love it and it'll be worth it. So that is my book haul. I will talk to you all again soon. Read something wonderful for me. Bye.